Hello, everybody. I am not really used to being on camera per se. I don't know. I just felt like this was so incredibly important to share. I've actually been holding on to this word for over a month. I'm kind of honestly revisiting it, shaking and shaky, and just feel it in my spirit that I need to share this. I'm not really sure where to go look. I'm not like a blogger or a YouTuber or whatever. I like YouTube. I watch ASMR videos and cat videos and things like that. But what you need to actually know about me is that I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ, and I know that He died for me, and I have a relationship with Him. So in that relationship, I believe that the Lord gives us gifts, and He gives us talents. They can come in any shape, way, or form. And so this is a gift that is given to people who truly love Him. And I believe that even if you're not truly saved, that you do have gifts. But I've been walking with the Lord for over 20 years. I got truly saved when I was 14. I am almost 38 years old. I love the Lord very deeply, and I have lots of quiet time with Him. I am not seeking a title or seeking anything, because honestly it all belongs to God. But I definitely believe that the Lord has given me prophecy. That is my gift. I can see. I'm a seer. That's what it's called. And I also have vision. So through that gift as being a seer. So with prophecy and vision, it's just like having a dream. It's really called, it's like a daydream. I don't even know how to put it, but it's called a day vision. So whenever you're in prayer, sometimes, well, for me in particular, I see things. I see in the spirit. And this has come with a lot of time spending with the Lord to be able to hear Him. I have given up things. I've repented. And sometimes it's not easy to carry, but He calls us to be bold and have courage. So, but about me, I'm just a regular person. I don't claim to be any like figure or personality. I don't even know what you would call it. But I'm a wife and a mother of 3 kids, and I love God fiercely. So I'm just a regular American person living my life and wanting to live the way Jesus has called me to live. So I did receive a vision, and I did get the interpretation. Now, I don't know if I want to share the interpretation of this just yet. I really need to pray about that, because honestly, this is going to potentially step on some people's toes here, and I'm okay with that, because honestly, all of it is for the gain of Christ. We're here on this earth to share the gospel with others and to love our neighbor as ourselves. So sometimes loving our neighbor as ourselves is hearing hard things and being able to process them with God and potentially with others. But so I was praying deeply about America. I really feel strongly that what's going on right now in America is just so heartbreaking. There is a lot of, I guess I would say, false teaching, and there's just a lot of falsehood. There's a lot of people like at a masquerade. And so, too, I do believe in revival. I do believe that the Lord has revival, but I don't think that it's the way that we think it is gonna be or is being. Anyway, I'm going to share the vision that I had, and then I'm going to just leave it up to you to pray about and to seek Him. And in no way am I condemning anybody. I want the Lord to convict you. I think that conviction is different from condemnation, and that condemnation comes from the enemy. And so I do say that this video is for mature Christians. If you're not really a mature Christian or even a baby Christian, I would really seek the Lord before you hear what I have to say. Because I am respectful of others, and I try to be respectful of others' thoughts, beliefs, opinions, and that will probably come in the interpretation when I do decide to share the interpretation. But I'm going to go ahead and just go deeper into the vision, and I'm going to leave it at the vision. I might cry, but because it is so heavy, and I do really want us as Christians to intercede over what is transpiring right now in America. Again, I received this vision over a month ago. I want to say I got it at the end of August, potentially, something like that. Sorry. I got it at the end of June. It was at the very end of June, the beginning of August, where I received this, and I've been mulling it over, and then the Lord said, I really need you to share this. And I'm like, I don't really do that. If I have a vision or a prophecy for someone, then I'll give it to them, because it's for them. It's not for me. So this is the first time I've ever shared publicly. So please be kind. And again, I really believe that this is for mature Christians, people who have really walked with the Lord and receive Him in His Spirit and receive and understand the giftings of the Spirit. So, okay. Sorry, it is very heavy, and I feel like the Lord has been really telling me to share it again. Okay. So, I'm just going to read it, because I have a prayer journal, and so I read it. I'm going to read it. So, it says here, I saw myself in the first style temple, like the temple like Moses built, or the temple that Solomon built, right? So there's like the inner court, the outer court, and there's like the showbread and all the tables, right? And then there's the Holy of Holies, where the Ark of the Covenant was, and the throne, and then the veil, right? And so then there's a priest. And the priest goes in there like once a year. I actually forgot what for, but anyway, he has like tablets or like stones on his vest, on his robe, and then one of them might like light up and say yes or no, and that's how they received the Holy Spirit before the Holy Spirit came, before Jesus came. That's how he spoke to his people. So then there's like the mercy seat, and so I believe that you're supposed to do sacrifices outside. I'll have to refresh myself on that, but anyway, I don't think they're inside that you do the sacrifices, which is like not a spotless lamb, but sometimes it's like a bull, and then the incense goes up to heaven. Yeah, and so and then there's like, I'm trying to remember what else. Anyway, I think you get the picture. I mean, you could totally just Google it and like see an image of what it looks like in there. So, like I said, it said there was the showbread and the Holy of Holies, also the mercy seat. And in Hebrews 9:12, it says he did it in his own blood and the atoning eternal redemption. So you can read the whole thing. It says that when Jesus came, it replaced sacrifice. It replaced, when he died, he was the ultimate sacrifice. And so when he died, the veil that was covering, the thick veil that was covering the temple, it was torn in two. So I saw it torn in two like that. So it was exposed, it was open. I did not see the Ark of the Covenant, but I saw a throne. I think that was the mercy seat. Okay? So I actually had this in a dream form, but I do believe that it was a night vision, because I believe that sometimes our dreams can be convoluted, and they are sometimes, hey, Jessa, it can be taken out of context, like, oh, this means this means that. This is me, like, when I'm sharing this, like, this is definitely very, like, matter of fact. There is tons of symbolism, but it's very matter of fact. He's showing me this place. He's brought me here. I'm here. I don't know why at first. And then I see a priest. And I see the priest, and he is cutting up the meat and doing a sacrifice at the little table. I think there's a table in there, and he's doing that. And I had that portion for like 2 days. And I kept praying about it, and I said, Lord, what does this mean? What are you showing me? And I didn't really know. And so then he revealed to me more again in a dream form. So then we're going to go on. I realized that the priest was Trump. Okay. I want everybody to understand that, like, I am not affiliated with any true political standing. I don't consider myself a Republican. I don't really consider myself a Democrat. If I would be anything, it would be moderate. I believe that a lot of what's going on right now is really pointing fingers, blaming fingers on the other side to each other. Nobody's really actually like doing anything with each other, being partisan. But so this is the Lord sharing this with me. This is not anything in myself. I saw Trump as the priest. Okay, everyone was in the temple. There was a guardrail by the throne, and the veil was torn. So I didn't really understand about the guardrail, I grew up in kind of charismatic churches where, really there was just I consider it the altar, but it's just like a stage, and there's no guardrail. But in Catholicism, in the Catholic Church, and even in some other churches, they have a guardrail. I forgot what it's called, but anyway, it's like, it is like a place where you go and you pray at. It's like an altar. So I saw this guardrail, okay? And people were in there with cameras. And it was like a press conference. All right? And Trump took what looked like to be a chicken, which I know is not a biblical sacrifice. Chickens aren't biblical sacrifices. I think that if somebody was not Jewish, in later times, maybe in Jesus' times, that they could take doves as a sacrifice, because I don't think they were allowed in the temple, or women were allowed in a temple. Okay. And the Lord shared with me the word profane. So then all of a sudden, it was not a press conference anymore. And this was at least 10 rows deep. And I don't believe that the temple was very big. And so, but I could see the menorah, the beautiful tree-like menorah there, and lights everywhere, candlelit. And I saw the showbread. I saw, I don't know what else I saw, but I saw it there at the little table. And then I saw everybody with cameras, and everybody was in suits. Then it became like a cooking show. So it transformed into this cooking show. He had this table and a knife, and he was just going to town on this chicken. He was plucking the feathers really intensely or really roughly. And then one by one, he was plucking them out. Then I saw everybody in awe over this. And then they were excited for the feast. They thought they were getting the chicken. They were like, oh, this is going to be our meal, right? Because it's like a cooking show. Then I felt the Lord share with me a sense of defilement. And the Spirit of the Lord, God he said, I will not be mocked. Then I saw him not know what to do with it afterwards. He plucked it all out, and he was like, well, what do I do with this? Oh my God. Right? And he threw it where the mercy seat was, behind the banister. He thrown it, and it was bleeding out. He did it where the Ark of the Covenant would have been. Then he said, you deal with it. And walked out of the back door. There was a back door open, and I could see outside, and there was a hill. And I saw another church on the hill. And I saw weather being thundered. It was really intense weather outside. And he just turned his back to the crowd and left out the door. He was murmuring to himself, whatever. That's what he said. He said, whatever. Then the Lord spoke to me and said, I will not be mocked. Again, I saw it play out. And again, I saw it play out. So I saw the whole thing once, and then the Lord rewound it, and he showed it to me again. And I was, in a lot of my dreams or in my visions, I'm just on the outside looking at everybody. Nobody can see me. Okay? I saw it play out again, like a cooking show. Then I saw that he had a cooking hat on. Like, it kind of reminded me of the Muppet movie where he's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. The Muppet Show where he has the chickens and he has the big chef hat and he's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay? I forgot what that guy's called, but he's a chef. Anyway, then it looked like a priestly hat. So it looked like a priest hat, but it also looked like a cooking hat at the same time. They were both mixed together, okay? Then seeing it all again, I saw what would be revealed. It was not a chicken. Okay, guys? It was a massive bird. It was a very massive bird, and I didn't know what bird it was. And then the Lord showed it to me. It was an eagle. It was an eagle. And I heard it. I can still hear it I can still hear it screeching. It was an eagle. And he grabbed a hold of it and he was like, "Come here," like that. And again, I saw it play out, and I saw this massive, majestic eagle be put on a chopping block. And I saw his face. I started to weep because I knew in that instant what it meant. There were so many cameras and people were cheering. People were cheering. And then I saw the eagle's face scared. Its wings had been clipped. It reminded me of that eagle in the, I'm a millennial. So, I remember the 90s. I was a 90s kid. And I remember the Rescuers Down Under. And there was a giant eagle. And, the evil man was after him. And the little boy and the mice were trying to save the eagle. And I saw that eagle. I saw that face. That's what I saw. But then I saw it as a real life eagle, not just a cartoon eagle. And his eye was just looking into me. And I could do nothing. And I felt sorrow in my heart. Because I knew the type of people that were cheering this on. I'm not going to go into the interpretation right now. So again, he showed me that once all of the feathers had been plucked, it was thrown down. And he walked out, turned his back to every single person, and left through the door. I was angry, and I could hear the Lord's voice through the thunder. I saw lightning, and I saw thunder. I saw lightning strike the eagle while he was at the mercy seat. And I heard the Lord speak to me and say, don't think I don't see it. Don't think I don't see it. This is a heavy vision, and I believe that if the Lord has called me to share it, then that means that whoever is watching this, you need to see it. And I hope that the Lord speaks to your heart. And if you need any prayer, you can reach out to me. But know that you're not alone, and the Lord goes before us. But I will tell you that He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And He is a loving God who reveals things to us. So I will probably try and post part 2 when I can, after I've prayed, but I really encourage you to seek the Lord's heart on this and to seek Him hard. And I know that He will do it. He will reveal it to you. He will reveal to you what else it could mean. But I do know what it means. Yeah. Okay, well, I just want everybody watching this to be blessed, and yeah, this is really a lot to digest. Okay.